Some people don't lose love because they stop caring. They lose love because the truth finally shows up. This is the story of Marcus, a man who gave everything to his family, until one DNA test changed everything. Marcus had the kind of life most men prayed for. A beautiful wife named Vanessa, a peaceful home, and a baby boy who had just turned 1. His son's name was Ethan. Marcus wasn't rich, but he worked hard. Every morning, he woke up early, dressed for work, and kissed Vanessa on the forehead. And every night, he came back home tired, but happy, because in his mind, nothing was more valuable than family. Vanessa always looked at him like he was her hero. She would smile and say, Marcus, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. And Marcus believed her. He believed her because Vanessa played her role perfectly. She cooked. She cleaned. She cared for Ethan. She posted family pictures online with captions like, "My kings." People admired them. Friends envied them. To the world, they looked like the perfect couple. But behind those smiles, there was a secret buried deep. And secrets don't stay buried forever. One night, Marcus was at his best friend Dylan's house. Dylan had known Marcus since college. They had struggled together, laughed together, and even lived together at one point. Dylan was the type of friend who always joked around. That night, Marcus showed Dylan pictures of baby Ethan on his phone. Dylan stared at the baby for a few seconds, then laughed. He said, "Man, that baby looks nothing like you." Marcus smiled, but something about that joke didn't feel funny. Dylan laughed again and said, "I mean, Ethan is cute, but bro, you sure he's yours?" Marcus forced a laugh. Of course he's mine. But deep down, something cracked, because Marcus had noticed it too. Ethan didn't have his eyes, didn't have his nose, didn't even have his skin tone. Everyone said Ethan looked like Vanessa, but Marcus sometimes looked at that child and felt like he was staring at a stranger. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. Vanessa was asleep beside him, breathing softly. Marcus stared at the ceiling, and a question began to grow in his mind like poison. What if Ethan isn't mine? Marcus tried to shake it off. He told himself he was being stupid, but the doubt stayed, and the more he tried to ignore it, the louder it became. For days, Marcus tried to bury the thought. He hugged Ethan more, played with him more, tried to convince himself that he was just overthinking. But then, something happened. One evening, Vanessa was in the shower. Marcus was in the bedroom, playing with Ethan on the floor. Then Vanessa's phone rang on the bed. Marcus wasn't the type of man to check phones. He respected privacy, but the screen lit up, and the name on the screen caught his attention. It was saved as Sandy, with a heart emoji. Marcus stared at the phone. It rang again. Then a message popped up. It said, "Last night was amazing. I miss you already." Marcus felt his heart stop. His hands began to shake. He didn't even open the message. He didn't need to, because his mind already understood what it meant. Vanessa came out of the shower, wrapped in a towel. She smiled. "Who called?" Marcus swallowed hard and forced himself to speak calmly. "Nobody. Wrong number." Vanessa picked up her phone quickly. Her smile faded for a second, then returned. "Oh, okay." But Marcus noticed something. She walked away immediately and locked her phone. That night, Marcus lay in bed next to her, but he didn't touch her. He didn't kiss her. He just stared at the darkness, because he already knew. Vanessa wasn't just hiding messages. She was hiding a whole life. And Marcus realized something painful. The truth doesn't always come with a loud sound. Sometimes It comes quietly, through a single message. That night, Marcus made a decision. He was going to do a DNA test. Not because he hated Ethan, but because he needed the truth. Marcus told Vanessa the next day that Ethan needed a routine checkup. Vanessa didn't suspect anything. She kissed Ethan's cheek and said, "Be good for Daddy, baby." Marcus nodded. He drove to a private clinic, a small place with white walls and quiet hallways. The nurse collected Ethan's sample. Then she collected Marcus's sample. Marcus signed the papers. And when he walked out, he felt like he had just betrayed his own family. Because Marcus didn't want Ethan to be someone else's child. He loved that baby. He raised him. He fed him. He rocked him to sleep. He stayed up at night when Ethan cried. To Marcus, Ethan wasn't just a child. Ethan was his heart. But love doesn't erase biology, and Marcus needed the truth. The nurse told him the results would take 7 days. 7 days. 7 days of waiting. 7 days of torture. Marcus drove home in silence, and when he walked into the house, Vanessa smiled like nothing was wrong, like she wasn't sitting on a secret that could destroy everything. During that week, Vanessa began to change. She started locking her phone. She started leaving the house with excuses like, "I'm just going to see my friend," or "I need fresh air." But Marcus wasn't stupid. He noticed everything. And the worst part was, Vanessa still smiled. She still kissed him. She still called him "my love," as if nothing was happening. Marcus began to understand something terrifying. Some people can lie so smoothly, they start believing their own lies. On the 6th day, Marcus came home early from work. The house was quiet, too quiet. He heard Vanessa laughing upstairs. Marcus climbed the stairs slowly, and when he reached the bedroom door, he stopped, because he could hear a man's voice. Marcus pushed the door open. Vanessa jumped like she had been electrocuted. Her phone slipped from her hand and landed on the bed. Marcus saw the screen. A video call. A man's face. The man froze. Vanessa quickly ended the call. Marcus stood still. His eyes locked on her. His voice came out cold.
Where were
Who
you?
was that? Vanessa forced a smile.
I had to take a
It's
call. It was
nobody.
work.
Just a friend from work. Marcus stared at her. His heart was beating like thunder, but he didn't shout. He didn't argue. He didn't accuse. He simply nodded and walked away. Because Marcus wasn't angry anymore. He was done. He just needed the final proof. The next morning, Marcus received an email. The subject line said, "DNA paternity results available." Marcus didn't open it in the house. He didn't want Vanessa to see his face. He walked outside,
0%.
sat inside his car, and stared at the screen. His hands were shaking so badly, he almost dropped the phone. He opened the results, and there it was, a sentence that destroyed his world. Probability of paternity, 0%. Marcus stared at it. He read it again, and again, and again. His throat tightened, his chest burned, his eyes filled with tears, but he didn't scream. He didn't cry loudly. He just sat there, frozen. Because the truth wasn't just painful,
Done.
it was insulting. It meant Vanessa looked at him every day and lied. It meant she watched him raise another man's child and never felt guilt. Marcus wiped his tears. Then he whispered to himself, "So this is who she really is." Marcus walked into the house like a stranger. Vanessa was in the kitchen making tea. She was humming softly, like she had no worries in the world. When she saw Marcus, she smiled. "Hey babe, you're home early. Marcus didn't answer. He walked to the table and placed the DNA results down. Vanessa's smile disappeared. Her eyes fell on the paper. Her hands began to shake. She looked up at Marcus. Silence filled the room. Then Vanessa laughed nervously. "What is this?" Marcus spoke calmly, but his voice sounded like death. "It's the truth." Vanessa's lips trembled. She tried to speak, but nothing came out. Marcus leaned closer. "So tell me, who is Ethan's father?" Vanessa began to cry instantly, not because she was sorry, but because she was caught. She fell to her knees and grabbed Marcus's legs. "Marcus, please, it was a mistake, I swear." Marcus stared down at her. "A mistake is spilling water. A mistake is losing your keys. This was betrayal." Marcus shook his head slowly. "A mistake is an accident. This was a decision." Vanessa cried harder. "I didn't want to lose you. I loved you." Marcus laughed softly, a broken laugh. "You loved me, but you gave another man your body." Vanessa's face twisted with guilt. Marcus's eyes were burning. He repeated slowly, "Who is Ethan's father?" Vanessa looked up at him, and in a trembling voice, she said the name that shattered everything. It was Dylan. Marcus froze. His stomach dropped. His heart stopped. His best friend? The man he called brother? Marcus took a step back like he had been slapped. "Dylan?" Vanessa nodded. "It happened one night. I was drunk. It just happened." Marcus clenched his fists. His eyes became red. But still, he didn't scream. He didn't hit her. He didn't break anything. He simply whispered, "You didn't just destroy my marriage. You destroyed my life." Vanessa cried louder. She held his legs tightly. "Please don't leave me. Please." Marcus looked down at her. Then he said something she never expected. "I'm leaving." Vanessa gasped. "Then what about Ethan? He needs you." Marcus's voice cracked. His eyes filled again with tears. He swallowed the pain and said, "He's the only innocent one here." Marcus walked into Ethan's room. Ethan was sleeping peacefully, like the world wasn't falling apart. Marcus picked him up gently. Vanessa followed behind him, screaming and crying. "You can't take him! He's not yours!" Marcus stopped at the door. He turned slowly. His eyes were cold. He looked at Ethan. Then he looked at Vanessa, and he said, "He may not be my blood, but he's my son." Vanessa froze. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Marcus continued, "I raised him. I fed him. I stayed up at night with him. So if you think you can hurt me and still keep everything,
every night he spent raising
you're wrong." Vanessa's voice shook. "You can't do this." Marcus gave her a bitter smile. "You should have thought about that before you opened your legs for my best friend." And Marcus walked out. Vanessa collapsed on the floor because she realized she didn't just lose her husband, she was about to lose everything. That night, Marcus drove straight to Dylan's house. His hands were tight on the steering wheel. His heart was empty. His eyes were tired, but his anger was alive. Dylan opened the door smiling. "Yo, bro, what's up?" Marcus didn't smile. He threw the DNA results at Dylan's chest. Dylan looked down at the paper. His face turned pale. "Marcus, I can explain." Marcus stepped forward. His voice was quiet, but dangerous. "No, you can't." Dylan's lips trembled. "It was one time. It didn't mean anything." Marcus stared at him. One time was enough to ruin everything. Dylan tried to speak again, but Marcus punched him hard. Dylan fell to the floor. Marcus leaned down and whispered, "You took my wife. You took my family. And you laughed in my face." Marcus stood up and walked away because he realized something. The pain wasn't just Vanessa's betrayal. It was the fact that Dylan warned him first, because Dylan already knew. Marcus filed for divorce. The story spread quickly. Friends started choosing sides. Family members started calling. Vanessa begged. She apologized. She promised to change.
Marcus, please! I'm sorry!
Marcus
Don't
didn't
do
listen.
this!
Because some betrayals don't deserve forgiveness. Marcus fought for custody. Not because Ethan was his biological child, but because Marcus was the only father Ethan had ever known. In court, the judge looked at Marcus and asked, "Why do you want custody of a child that isn't yours?" The courtroom went silent. Marcus held Ethan tightly. Then he answered,
This boy is my entire world.
"Because blood makes relatives,
Everything I do
but
for him.
love makes family." The judge stared at him for a long moment, then nodded. Vanessa cried like her soul was leaving her body, because she realized she didn't lose Marcus because of the DNA test. She lost him because she betrayed the one man who truly loved her. And Marcus lost the woman he loved. But he gained something else. Freedom. Because sometimes the truth doesn't just break you. Sometimes it saves you. So tell me, if you were Marcus, would you forgive Vanessa? Or would you leave immediately? Comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to Nightfall Stories, because here, every story has a lesson, and every lesson comes with a twist. Good night, and see you in the next story.